The next topic that we're going to be talking about is converting standard form to vertex form. When we're converting from standard to vertex form, the first thing that you want to do is factor out the number that is in front of v squared. Well, because v squared is 1, I don't have to do that on this step. So then I have to put parentheses around the v squared and the 2v. You're going to pull out the 2 and do 2 divided by 2 equals 1. Square it. 1 squared is 1. From here, you're going to put v squared plus 2v plus 1, drop this down, minus 15 equals 0. Because I added 1 here, I have to do 1 times 1 and add the opposite. So 1 times positive 1 is positive 1, so that when I rewrite it, I'm going to have v squared plus 2v plus 1 minus 15. Whatever you get the opposite here, or whatever you get there, you have to put the opposite here. Opposite. So if it was a positive 1, you're going to subtract 1. So that you get combined like terms, and you get v squared plus 2v plus 1 minus 16. Factor. You're going to have v plus 1 squared minus 16. That is the vertex form of this quadratic. I'll rewrite it up here. V plus 1 squared minus 16. Number 14. Put parentheses around your variables. Pull out a negative 6. Divided by 2, and you get negative 3. Square it. Negative 3 squared is a positive 9. So you're going to write n squared minus 6n plus 9 plus 5. This goes here. Now you have to put the opposite here. So if it's a positive 9, you're going to subtract 9, because 1 times 9 is positive 9. Opposite goes there. Factor, or combine like terms, you're going to have n squared minus 6n plus 9 minus 4, because 5 plus 9 minus 9 is negative 4. Factor, you're going to end up with n minus 3 squared minus 4. So your vertex form is n minus 3 squared minus 4. Number 15. Parentheses. Pull out the negative 12. Negative 12 divided by 2 is negative 6. Square negative 6, and you get positive 36. K squared minus 12k plus 36 plus 35. 1 times 36 is 36. Put the opposite, get negative 36. Combine the numbers on the end, and you get negative 1. Factor k minus 6 squared minus 1. Remember, whatever you get here will go in this spot. Whatever you get here goes here. 16. Parentheses. Pull out the 14. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 squared is 49. Rewrite it as x squared plus 14x plus 49 plus 49. 1 times 49 is 49. The opposite of that is 49. Combine your terms. And you get plus 0. Because 49 minus 49 is 0. Because it's plus 0, I don't have to write it. So now all I have to do is factor. I'm going to have x plus 7 squared. And that's all I'm going to have left. That number right there, the 7, always goes into the spot for the open factor. Number 17. Because the number in front of n is a 1, all you do is take the 8 and list its factors. 1, 8, 2, 4. Okay, once you do that, you have to ask yourself, the sign on my 8 is positive, so a positive C signs are the same. A negative C signs are different. I wonder. Okay. If the signs are different, larger number takes sign of B. So if your signs are different, the larger number takes the sign of B. Remember, this is A, this is B, that is C. So if the signs are the same, it's the same thing. The numbers, I want to come over here because I'm running out of room. The numbers takes the sign of B. So because this, on number 17, 8 is positive, so C is positive, the signs are going to be the same. So that means the signs are going to be negative, because 6 is negative. So factors of positive 8 that add to give me negative 6. Negative 2, negative 4. So I'm going to have n minus 2, n minus 4. You are solving. So that means I'm setting them equal to 0. N minus 2 equals 0. N minus 4 equals 0. Solve for n. N equals 2. Add 4 to both sides. N equals 4. That is your answer. Same thing with 18. There's a 1 in front, so you just factor out the negative 6. So I'm going to pull out negative 6. Factors of 6. 1, 6, 2, and 3. This time, my C is negative, so I'm going to use the top line. Because the C is negative, signs are different. The larger number takes the sign of B. So this time B is negative still, so my larger numbers are negative. Now, which of the factors will add to give you negative 5? 1 and negative 6. X plus 1, x minus 6 equals 0. Set them both equal to 0. Solve for x. X equals negative 1. X equals positive 6. Number 19. This time, the number in front of B is not 1. So this time I have to do busting the B's. When you are factoring, always check for a greatest common factor first. Well, in this case, there's not a number that will go into both 3, 20, and 7. So I have to bust the B. To bust the B, you're going to multiply 3. Oh, I messed that up. 3 times negative 7, which gives me negative 21. Factors of negative 21. I got 1 and 21. Three and 7. And that's it. Here again, my number is negative. So I'm going to do, the signs are different. And it takes the sign of the larger number. Or the larger number takes the sign of B. So in this case, B is positive. So these are going to be positive, and these are negative. So which one of the factors will add to give me negative 20, or positive 20? And that is negative 1 and positive 21. So here you have to bust the B. So you're going to do 3b squared minus 1b plus 21b minus 7 equals 0. Group. Greatest common factor for this set is going to be a b. So you're going to have 3b minus 1. Here it looks like it's going to be positive 7. So you're going to have 7 3b minus 1. Okay, from here, if these are the same, you did it right. So you're going to pull out the 3b minus 1, and then you're going to combine these two. B plus 7 equals 0. Set them equal to 0. B minus 1 equals 0. B plus 7 equals 0. Solve for B. And I'm going to pull this one over here because I'm running out of room. 3b minus 1 equals 0. Add 1 to both sides. You get 3b equals positive 1. Divide by 3. B equals 1/3. So your answer is B equals negative 7 and B equals 1/3. Same thing on number 20. I don't have a greatest common factor. So I have to multiply 8 times 6. 8 times 6 is 48. Factors of 48. 1, 48. 2, 24. 3 and 16. 4 and 12. 6 and 8. Well, my number's positive, So because my c is positive, my signs are going to be the same. The signs take the sign of the middle number, so they're all going to be positive. So factors of 48 that will add to give me positive 19. And it looks like it's going to be 3 and 16. So you're just going to rewrite everything, 8r squared, except instead of writing 19r, you're going to say 3r plus 16r plus 6. Group. Factor out what they have in common. R, 8r plus 3. And it looks like 2 is going to be the other one. So I'm going to have 2 parentheses 8r plus 3. Well, they're in common. So I'm going to write 8r plus 3, r plus 2 equals 0. And I forgot to set all of these equal to 0. That 0 does not go away. 8r plus 3 equals 0. R plus 2 equals 0. Subtract 3 from both sides. Divide by 8. And you get r equals negative 3 over 8. Subtract 2 from both sides, and you get r equals negative 2. No, you can come in. Come in. And so your final answer is r equals negative 3 over 8 and negative 2. The next set of instructions asks for us to simplify. When we are simplifying, there is a difference between
Strickland's room on B Hall. Miss Hayes, Steve Smith, Mr. Barrett, Miss Niswonger. That's Miss Hayes, Miss Steve Smith, Mr. Barrett, and Miss Niswonger. B Hall, Miss Strickland's room. Thank you.
there's a difference between having an operation in the middle of the parentheses and having parentheses side by side. For 21 and 22, you have to distribute the sign. But because 21 is a positive, all you have to do is drop the parentheses. And combine like terms. 1 plus 5 is 6. Negative 3i minus 6i is negative 9i. 22, you have to distribute. So you're going to have 2 plus 6i minus 2 plus 6i. Well, 2 minus 2 is 0, and 6 plus 6 is 12i. Okay, 23 is one, if you do this, if you give me this as your answer, you are wrong. That's wrong. Do not do that. This really means negative 2 minus I times negative 2 minus I. You are multiplying the parentheses times itself. Now you need to full. Negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4. Negative 2 times negative I is a positive 2i. Negative I times negative 2 is a positive 2i. And a negative I times a negative I is a positive I squared. Combine like terms. 4 plus 4i plus, remember, I squared equals negative 1. So it's going to be plus a negative 1.
Central. The FCA is meeting in the conference room at this time. FCA in the conference room. Thank you.
4 minus 1 is 3 plus 4i. Same thing with 24. Distribute. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 1 times negative I is negative I. Negative 2I times negative 3 is positive 6I. And negative 2I times negative I is a positive 2I squared. Combine your like terms. Negative 3 plus 5I, because you have to combine those, plus 2 times negative 1, because I squared equals negative 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Combine your like terms again. Negative 3 minus 2 is negative 5 plus 5I. 25. When you have a monomial on bottom, which is this right here, it is one term. All you have to do is multiply both top and bottom by I. Not negative 9I, just I. So that I get 7I on top divided by negative 9 parentheses, negative 9I squared. But you know what I squared is, so you get 7I divided by negative 9 times negative 1. So your final answer should be 7I over 9. 26. Multiply both top and bottom by I, and you'll get negative 2I divided by negative I squared. Substitute in negative 1 for the I squared, and you're going to get negative 2I divided by negative 1. Well, negative times a negative is a positive, so you're going to have negative 2I over positive 1, which simplifies to negative 2I. Still top and bottom by I. You're multiplying every top by I. So you got to distribute the I within the parentheses. So you're going to have negative 1I minus I squared divided by 3I squared. Substitute negative 1 in for the I squares. You're going to have negative I minus negative 1 all over 3 negative 1. This becomes a positive, so you get negative I plus 1 over negative 3. Remember, when you're writing complex numbers, the real number has to come first. So it really is 1 minus I divided by negative 3. That is your final answer. I got to make sure I did that on the other ones. Yep. Alright. So number 28. Still a monomial on bottom. So multiply both top and bottom by I. And you get negative 4I minus 3I squared divided by negative 4I squared. Because you multiply everything on top by the I. Substitute it in. Negative 4I minus 3 times negative 1 over 4 times negative 1. So that you get negative 4I plus 3 over 4. Real number comes first, so it's 3 minus 4I divided by 4. Next page. Sketching the graph of piecewise functions. Remember, I told you if you wanted to, you can draw a line at 4. That's where my graphs switch. When less than -4, so that means going this way, you're going to draw this graph. When x is greater than -4, you're going to draw this graph going that way. Plug in the numbers. Plug in 4. -4. When you plugged in 4, you got -4. So you're going to draw a closed circle at -4. Plug in 3. -3. Closed circle at -3. Plug in 2. -2. Plug in 1. -1. I see a pattern. Do the same thing. And if you want to draw a table, you can. 4. I'm going to plug in 4. Is 3. Plug in 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. Plug in 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. An open circle at 4, 3. And then do 5, 4. 6, 5. 7 minus 1 is 6. So 7, 6. There's another pattern. So my graph is going to look something like that. Same thing for 30. 0. I'm going to use this as my split. Zero. This way. This graph is going that way. 0 plus 3 is 3. -1. -1 becomes a positive, so it's going to be 1 plus 2. -2. So that's a plus 2, so it's going to be -2, 5. -3. -3 comes a positive 3, so it's going to be 6. Here's another pattern. They're just increasing by one number. So draw your graph. This time it's an open circle. So I want to do an open circle at 0, 3. I'm going to change colors so it doesn't get confusing. Let's do open circle at 0, 3, -1, 4, -2, 5, -3, 6, -4, 7. There's my first line. Now go and do the other one. Starting off at 0, 0 minus 1 is -1. And then 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 4 minus 1 is 3. And so forth. Plot your point. Circle. And then 1, 0. 2, 1. 3, 2. So forth. And that is the piecewise function for number 30. 31. This time, I'm going to have 3 different lines. But because of this -1, I only really need one chart. You can come on in. Just be quiet. So I'm going to draw a vertical line at -4 because of these two numbers, and a vertical line at 2. Once I draw my vertical lines, I have to look at the graph. X is going this way, so I'm going to do -4. When I plug in -4, I get -4. Plug in -3, you get -3. Plug in -2, you get -2. Plug in -1, you get -1. And I'm sorry guys, you do get that, but I'm going the wrong direction. You plug in -4, but remember, numbers that are smaller than -4 is actually going to get to the larger number. So -5 is smaller than -4. -6, -7, -8. And you plug in -4, you get -4. Plug in -5, and you get -5. And so forth. Plot your points. Open circle at -4, -4. And then everything else. Shoot, I keep going the wrong direction. Sorry. -5, -5. -6, -6. -7, -7. -8, -8. Connect them. -1. That is going to be a straight line. So you are going to draw a line that starts off at a closed circle and goes to an open circle at -1. It looks just like that. If there is no variables, you are going to have a horizontal line. So now use this function. Plug in 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Next bigger number is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. Next bigger number is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. See a pattern? Good. So plug them in. It's going to be a closed circle at 2, 3, and then 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, and so forth. And that is the piecewise function for this graph. Most of the piecewise function, they won't give you this line. See if it'll let me take it away. It will. It'll look something like this. But if you want to, on each graph that you see a piecewise function, draw that vertical line so that you can see that it crosses. Okay, 32. I have 2 boundaries again. And they're actually the same numbers as the previous problem. So you're going to draw a line at -4 and a line at +2. This graph goes this way. This graph is kind of in between the 2 numbers, while this graph goes this way. The easiest one to plot is the number. You're going to put a closed circle at 2, 5, and it's going to be a straight line that goes that way. If you like the 2 charts, you can draw them. You don't have to. Plug in -4. -4 plus 1 is -3. -5 plus 1 is -4. -6 plus 1. Okay. -6 plus 1 is -5. You see the pattern? It's going to be a closed circle at -4, -3. And then plot the rest of your points. -5, -4. -6, -5. Connect them. Remember, this one is in between. So plug in -4. -4 minus 3. So that's +4 minus 3, which gives me 1. So 4, -4, 1 is going to be an open circle. Now plug in 2. So take out the -4 and put a 2. -2 minus 3 is -5. It is also going to be an open circle. So you're going to go to 2, -5. Draw an open circle. Just connect them. All you have to do is get 2 points and connect them. Alright, so this is your benchmark review. If you have any questions, please let me know.